Anyway, enough about politics. I got that a comment on a video today from someone who just commented on one of my videos saying politics yawn. And I asked, is there anything you would like me to address? Any topics? Any videos you'd like me to look at, maybe respond to? And he responded, he asked me about my thoughts about pessimism. Pessimism and its relation to self-esteem. He kind of asked a chicken or egg question. Like, does pessimism lead to low self-esteem, or does low self-esteem lead to pessimism? And he also asked me about its relation to optimism. And I actually referred him to a video that my good friend Frog Machinery did recently. Frog Machinery, who is another objectivist who recently started making YouTube videos. He makes some good stuff. Haven't watched all of his stuff, but I did like his video on pessimism and optimism. And I hate to step on his toes. I hate to piggyback on him. I like making my a lot of my own thoughts, but I thought Frog Machine was mostly right in his video about optimism and pessimism. He said that, a lot of people talk about glass half full, glass half empty. And no matter which way they talk about it, I want to take the glass and throw it right in their face. And he explained the problem with both pessimism and optimism, saying that pessimism makes you hopeless and negative, turns you into a passive nihilist, and optimism turns you into a passive evader. And I think he's mostly right. And I think there are a lot of good concrete examples on this. As for whether or not pessimism causes low self-esteem or vice versa, I'm not sure, but I suspect pessimism causes low self-esteem and not the other way around, because I think it's possible for people to have low self-esteem but also be reality-oriented and not be overly negative, and then find ways to overcome their self-esteem issues. But I should probably think about it and look into it more. But pessimism definitely leads to low self-esteem. Because as Frog Machinery points out, and I agree, that, when Ankar Gate had a really good quote years ago that stuck with me. He said that being pessimistic is the easiest thing in the world, because then you don't have to try. Remember when he said that, I was like, wow, it's so true. Never thought about it like that. Because, yeah, of course, if you're just hopeless about everything, if you always think the worst is going to happen, then why bother trying? And it's not just political. It's, think about something like talking to a girl you think is cute that you're attracted to and you want to ask her out, and you tell yourself, oh, she'll never say yes to me. She's probably going to say no. She might have a boyfriend. And then you talk yourself out of it. And even if you talk yourself into it, I mean, think if she says yes and guys go on that first date. If you're pessimistic, crap. Even if you try to fake it, I think it will, you'll either come off as fake or the pessimism will eventually rear its ugly head. People, at least positive people, don't want to be around negative people all the time. But it could also be, applying for a job, like, oh, why should I bother applying for this job? I don't have enough experience. There's probably 100 applicants for this job. Why even bother trying? I had that problem, actually, I started watching this new documentary that came out. I think it's from Frontlines PBS. It's about Amazon. It's called Amazon Empire or something. And I have mixed views on this documentary. I think it's very well done. But they talk about Jeff Bezos and how he started Amazon. And I think you hear this a lot with entrepreneur success stories is that when an entrepreneur starts a business, everyone tells them, hey, you know, this it's unlikely, you know, your business might fail, you might go bankrupt. And especially with the case with Boss Bezos. Boss Bezos was well educated. I think he went to Princeton. And he had a really good, comfortable job on Wall Street. And he left his job. I think he left with his wife, maybe then girlfriend. They left their jobs on Wall Street, good jobs, to start a bookstore on the internet in the internet's infancy, when most people didn't really understand the internet. You know, there are plenty of clips of, you know, people talking about the internet in the 90s. I think there's one, I think David Letterman's talking to someone. I want to say it's Bill Gates. But he's just like, what is email? What is this stuff? And clearly doesn't understand it. And is just clueless as to how game-changing it's going to be. Anyway. So Jeff Bezos started Amazon, and apparently, you know, his mom and other people were telling him, you know, this is risky, you have a nice job on Wall Street, why don't you just, you know, play it safe? You know, you're making a mistake. And think if Jeff Bezos were pessimistic. Think if he were pessimistic and bought into all this, oh, you shouldn't do that, just play it safe. He never would have continued with Amazon, probably much less started it. But if he would have bought into all this talk about, oh, you should just play it safe or whatever. You know, it would have been easy for him to just cave and go back to Wall Street and make $100,000 a year or whatever. And now he's the richest man in the world. Look at that damn hammer, brother. And he has the most successful company in the world. He's so successful that people want to bring Amazon down. They want to break up Amazon because it's a big, scary monopoly. They want regulation. They want to take his money. Even though he's charitable, they want to take all of his money. Because it's better if we democratically vote on how to spend Jeff Bezos' billions of dollars. Or even other small issues where, like, you know, oh, I want to go out to this party, but there's someone there that I had an argument with on social media, or there's someone there I don't like, and I don't want it to be awkward for everyone, so I'm just gonna stay home. Get a lot of that stuff. I mean, so pessimism can't, just psychologically, again, as Frog Machinery pointed out in his really good video on the subject, it will definitely lead to you having low self-esteem, because when your whole mind automatically assumes the worst about things and everything's hopeless, then why bother even trying to pursue values when you think that happiness and self-esteem are impossible, if not extremely difficult? This is a big reason why I don't like the new Joker movie. I know I talked about it. I had a take on it where I think it made it an perhaps unintentional good point. In that if you can't know reality, you're ultimately going to devolve into nihilism, which is what happened to the Joker. But the overall movie is pessimistic. The overall theme of the movie is, hey, it's dog eat dog out there, life is unfair, everyone's gonna try to lie and cheat and screw you. You can't better your lot in life unless you have money, like Thomas Wayne, and so, you know, life is hopeless. And then after watching that movie, you just feel depressed. Like, I felt like I needed to take a shower after watching Joker, and I never want to watch it again because it's a depressing movie. And I think that's why a lot of people like it, is because a lot of people probably are pessimistic and hopeless, and they say, oh, cool. Finally, a movie that speaks to me. I think that's a reason why people liked Fight Club for the same reason. I know I'm not the first to compare Joker to Fight Club. I was going to make that hot take, and then I Googled it, and other people already made that hot take. So I think even Mark Cuban talked about in his book, How to Win at the Sport of Business. You know, when you're starting out, when you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a business or you're just hustling, people will tell you that, oh, it's very difficult, it's unlikely, you know, what is it? Most businesses go bankrupt or whatever. And then finally, when you make it, when you accomplish your dreams, when you're making money, in Mark Cuban's case, when you make billions of dollars, then everyone starts telling you how those same people who told you it was impossible, it was unlikely, you know, go back to your day job, don't quit your day job. Those same people will come back and say, oh man, you're so lucky to be a billionaire.